A number of years ago, I had the opportunity to fly to Israel for a bar mitzvah, but with a catch. The layover would be in Rome. So not too bad, right? Okay. So you remember the days when you can get a connecting flight for just a few $100s. So I took advantage of this situation, obviously before we had kids, before I was married, so I could do these kinds of things. And I took advantage, and I spent a full 24 hours in the city of Rome. So the plane lands early in the morning. I take the train to the city center. I store my bags at the hotel, and I make a plan for the day to include all of the highlights of the must-sees of Rome, the Pantheon, the Colosseum, the Vatican. Everyone who I spoke to prior to the trip said the same thing. You have to go see the Trevi Fountain. Yes. You been there? Okay. Did you like it? Okay. So maybe this is the wrong speech. Hold on. No. Everybody said the same thing. They said, what do they say? They said, it's majestic, it's powerful, it's pristine. You're going to be inspired. So I walk to the fountain, and all I see is this. Trying to get over the barrier to get the perfect thing. And everybody's doing the same thing. Everybody's taking the selfies to send to the people back home. Tilting in all kinds of positions, like hanging over the thing. And I'm looking around, and I feel nothing. Nothing. Completely unmoved, uninspired, unemotional, nothing. And I'm thinking to myself, wait a second, have these people never seen a waterfall before? So I take out my phone and I Google things to do near Trevi Fountain. And as I'm about to walk away, a little nonna, like the Italian grandmothers with the sheitel on the head, the long skirt, the apron, the shmata over her shoulder. Clearly she had been in the kitchen cooking all morning. She's watching the whole thing play out. Because I'm the only one just... So she comes over to me, and she gives me a little smack. And she says, you have to come back at night. And then she walks away, disappearing into one of the nearby restaurants. That's cute, I thought. Maybe they turn on the lights or something, and I don't know, who knows? But I'm definitely not coming back. I've got less than 24 hours, and I want to make the most out of this trip. As the sun sets, I find myself thinking about what that woman said. You have to come back at night. I don't know what it was. Something in her eyes, something about that playful smack on the cheek, something. And so I found myself walking back to the fountain. When I arrived, it was as I suspected. A few more lights, maybe a little less crowded, a bit more royal, but nothing extraordinary. I approached the base of the fountain and looked over and peered into the water. Through the ripples of the water, I could see what the daytime did not afford. My reflection. I stood there and I stared. Each gentle ripple of water was like turning back a page in the history book of my life. Flashbacks, memories, moments. I have to admit, I fantasized about how the scene would play out like a movie drama. I would look up from the fountain. Nona would be standing there with a look that said, you see, I told you so. That never happened. But what did happen was transformational for me. I realized that what this woman was saying was so profound. We reach a point in our lives where we are comfortable looking at our reflection, peering through the eyes of the person on the other side of the water looking back at us. We sift through the chapters of our lives, revisit painful memories, celebrate the joyous ones. In this week's Torah portion, Parshat Pinchas, there are 5 women mentioned in the Torah portion. Malka, Noah, Hogla, Milka, and Tirza. They are the daughters of Tzelofechad. In the Torah portion, Tzelofechad dies, and he has no sons, which means, according to the law, the daughters were not entitled to inherit his land, and effectively killing off that name. But the daughters refuse to be invisible. They say, "Why should our father's name be lost from among his family because he had no sons? Give us possession among our father's kinsmen." So they do something radical. They show up. They speak up. They demand to be seen. They come back at night to revisit this place. They say, "No, we need to make a change." These women looked at the system that didn't reflect them. And instead of walking away, they came back. They came back at night in the metaphorical darkness of exclusion, and they shined their light into it. At some point in our lives, we must return to the places that didn't move us the first time and say, "Let me try again." Sometimes it takes coming back, returning, revisiting the night to see our own reflection. And to ask ourselves these important questions. What are the chapters I haven't revisited? What are the truths I've ignored? What parts of myself have I hidden because I didn't think there was space for them to exist? The song that Annie sang tonight was so perfect, Halev Sheli, because in the lyrics, she sang, "And the sky is like a wall to me. How can I pass through the sea on dry ground?" In other words, we search for answers in the reflection when the sky seems impenetrable, when life's decisions overwhelm us, and when we feel like we can't press on, we come back. The Nona at the fountain, the daughters of Tzlofachad standing before Moses, they all remind us that transformation doesn't happen in the noise. When it's daytime and the lights are too bright, we need to come back at night, because those moments happen in the stillness, in the quiet hush, in the courage to return, in the willingness to be seen and see others, to meet our reflection with sincerity and humility and elasticity, stretching beyond what we imagined could be possible. So on this Shabbat, may we be blessed with the opportunity to look up, to look again, to listen again, and to come back at night. Shabbat Shalom.